All right, welcome to the Kiss FAQ. I've been meaning to do this video for quite a while, but one of the comments in a recent video was that there was basically a request for me to do one of the stem breakdowns of some of the other material that appeared on You Wanted the Best. Now, obviously, we're doing the refocused episode, and I'm not going to be able to play all this multimedia during that episode, nor would anyone want to sit through a podcast which did that. So I'm going to break it up into, we'll do the refocused episode and have some fun talking about the stuff. And I'll do this separate, all encompassing walkthrough and talk through of the multimedia that I prepared for that episode. And, let's put You Wanted the Best, the compilation, to bed once and for all. I've already done the Take Me song story, which included some of the breakdown of obviously the vocals and other features with those butchered versions that were used in 1996. We called them butchered, but I think one of the things that I take out of this now and really breaking down a lot of the material is that I need a perspective change. I understand 1996 was more about the return of the magic, and looking at all of the material that was used. Obviously, we don't have the original multi-tracks for anything to do with the LA Forum or those recording sessions, rehearsals, or however Alive 2 was constructed. So we're not able to do that fully for Take Me, but we can use, say, Houston or Fort Worth or Rock and Roll Party in Tokyo, which is fully produced, mixed, etc., for a comparison to determine just how much change was applied to these. And basically, you've got your four stems: your bass, your drums, guitars, lead and rhythm, usually mixed into one, and vocals, lead and backing, mixed into one. So there are differences, and there are things that I cannot make up for being universal music with. I don't know the tape speed of the transfers in 1996. I don't know how material was touched, processed, enhanced. Clearly things were done, as we'll see as we go through a lot of these tracks. But again, I don't know. And I don't have the musical vocabulary to really talk about it from an engineering or behind the console perspective and point of view. So I'm saying it kind of how I hear it as a layman. So I'm not going to be technical. I may get things wrong, in which case, um, use your experience, either technically or musically, in the comments of this episode to point out what you think. Because again, this is just one man's opinion and it's no more correct or valid than anyone else's. And when we look at all those other opinions, maybe you'll get to hear some of these isolations for the very first time and it will change your opinion or give you more evidence from which to base it on. Now, another caveat is obviously these are AI stem separations. So these are not the same as going to the original multi-tracks. They are AI making an assumption about frequency ranges and other things that are built into the separation algorithm to separate out those musical tracks. And each algorithm does it somewhat differently. I find I have certain tools that are really good with drums, or should I say, what I think are really good with drums, because I find their sound appealing. I have not treated any of these stems in any manner. Usually I would put them into Adobe Audition and massage them in terms of EQ, compression, and cleaning. As well, in order to do something with them. I've left them raw. Number one, because it's taken too much bloody time already just to get these clips all prepared. And number two, I really want them to be something that, in theory, someone else could replicate using the AI stem separation tools of their choice. So that's up to you. For now, I'm only going to go through the new tracks, as they were so called, on the You Wanted the Best compilation. And again, your comments, chime in. What did I miss? What do I get wrong? What do you think? That's a very important part of this. And, let's see if, the hive mind knew what was the case in 1996. So we're not breaking any new ground whatsoever, but we are shining a magnifying glass in a manner on all of this material. So let's jump into New York Groove. Now, New York Groove was included as, I believe it was a bonus track on the vinyl or international versions. I can't remember what they were doing. I can't be arsed to look it up right now. But it was certainly used as a bonus track on the Japanese version. Unfortunately, it wasn't included in 2001 on the box set. Instead, they went to Talk to Me for that release, again, if I recall correctly. Um, my initial impressions when I got New York Groove, I got it off the Blockbuster bonus CD, which was a point in sale bonus item promotional that was handed out at Best Buy, hence its name. And it had another track on there, which we played some of during the episode, the Blockbuster Greeting, which is just the band members goofing off in the studio trying to record stuff to promote it. So New York Groove obviously was a long overdue. Only, I believe, the second live Eric Carr audio track ever released, the first being Heavens on Fire, which was used as the B-side on the Tears Are Falling single in the UK, certainly, but potentially Europe in 1985, where that was issued. So other than the Animalized live uncensored video at that point, I don't think there'd been any official releases which included him in audio form. Obviously, Exposed had live video stuff. So it was exciting from that perspective. At the time that it came out, I didn't think it was that great of recording, but the emotion, the heart ruled the mind, and I was able to say, "Hey, forget it. Assuage those criticisms and the perception simply because it's Eric Carr. God bless him. They're honoring him in this manner. He's included in the reunion in a sense, so that's all good." But that was a pretty shitty recording. There's no way around it. It's not great. My big issues with it we'll get to, but I just want to compare. It's attributed to Sydney, so let's listen to a couple of different versions from the multimedia, and let's pull in New York Groove, the drums. All right, so right there, let's stop it. That's during the intro to the song. The top waveform that you can see that's currently highlighted in blue is just a 192 rip. I think that's the digital version of You Wanted the Best from HD tracks. So it's raw, again, it's untouched, and that's how it's been processed. So it isolated really well, actually. The bottom one is from the Sydney Hybrid FM version. So that, to my ears, is one of the better versions. I think that's based off the Inner Sanctum, either broadcast or perhaps ripped off the video, and then further EQ'd, again, as an unofficial release. All of those come with a massive asterisk or pinch of salt. So let's go back to this. All right, so just another section. Just again, you can hear the difference in the drum. Some of it obviously comes down to the difference in quality of separation, and other is, of course, that they would have had the multi-tracks available to them. I think that there was a lot of material that was sent back to the States from Australia after they'd done their touch-up work in the studio, after recording the shows and constructing the Inner Sanctum. But even with processing, again, you can really hear. One thing I wonder about Eric Carr, that he was always notorious for not doing great with his hi-hats. So whether he did any overdubs in the studio after the fact in 1980, and certainly Paul did, Ace did, and potentially Gene did as well, to just do a few little cleanups there. Nothing, no harm, no foul. More drums. All right, time's up. That's all the drums I need to hear from that one. Again, everything matches up in terms of patterns and pretty much how the song is played. The differences in audio quality are clearly just down to the difference in source quality. Imagine that. So make up your mind. Did Eric go in and do a little bit of hi-hat overdubbing? Or is that just that they have the multi-tracks and they're better able to balance them in the studio in 1996 for the remix? I think it was Jimbo Barton who did those. Yeah, and again, none of my negative comments should be geared towards him or the band. It simply is personal opinion. So let's go to the vocals. And what's cool here is obviously Ace. God bless him. I love how some of his phrasing as he starts out almost sounds like he's about to laugh. Just how he's delivering the lower lines of the vocal. So let's play it.
Every year since I was here on the street, I was passing our time away. To the left, to the right, building shower to the sky, and it's out of sight in the dead of night. Here I am again in the city with a fistful of dollars. You better believe I'm back in the New York groove. I'm back in the New York groove. I'm back in the New York groove. In the New York groove. In the New York groove. 10 years since I was here on the street, I was passing my time away. To the left and to the right, buildings towering to the sky, and it's out of sight in the dead of night. Here I am again in the city with a fistful of dollars. You better believe I'm back in the New York groove. I'm back in the New York groove. I'm back in the New York groove. In the New York groove. In the New York groove.
All right, so New York groove. Yeah, I don't discern any difference really in those vocals. One thing I do kind of notice is obviously, again, down to quality of separation differences. There is a more prominent backing vocal from Gene and Paul there. So is that because of studio touch-up work, or what? I don't know if it matters, but it's there, and there you go. Make up your own mind. Perhaps go back to an audience bootleg from that. That's something I should probably do. All right, the final video for New York Groove, the bonus track on You Wanted the Best, is what I hate about this song. This song, or track, not the song. I love the song. What I don't like about this track is it just isn't good quality as a recording. It's got feedback which is really prominent, particularly on the EQ adjusted studio version on You Wanted the Best, and still noticeable. I'd never really picked up on that as much until focusing in on it on the hybrid FM, Inner Sanctum, bootleg, or other versions that I've listened to over the years. But I do generally have an issue with how Unmasked shows sound generally, and there's only there's one uncirculated soundboard that I'm aware of, which is the absolutely best sounding recording from that tour, which I hope eventually comes to light. Auckland is pretty good as well, for that matter, but the feedback is horrendous. So look out for a couple of highlight points here, and that's just to draw your attention to where I'm hearing annoying feedback that bothers me. So I do the color boards when it bothers me. So let's listen to just some of the feedback sections.
Since I was here on the street, I was passing my time away. To the left and to the right, buildings towering to the sky, and it's out of sight in the dead of night. Here I am again in the city with a fistful of dollars. You better believe I'm back.
All right, so that was the hybrid versus the album version. We've got a third version now, just for a little bit further comparison.
Many years since I was here on the street, I was passing my time away. To the left and to the right, buildings towering to the sky, and it's out of sight in the dead of night. Here I am again in the city with a fistful of dollars. You better believe I'm back.
Ding, ding, ding. Universal copy strikes coming fast and furious during these episodes. But then again, I'm non-monetized, so go ahead, Universal. Take the money. It's your stuff. All right, we're going to continue talking about this. So I think it's butchered. I think the feedback's completely unpleasant. And I don't think it honors Eric as much as it could, but it's better than nothing for certain. And it certainly was fantastic in 1996 to hear that for the first time. It is what it is, but I think on the technical side, this one does a disservice to the intent of including New York Groove on the album package. All right, that's the bonus track. That is New York Groove from You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best, Japanese edition and vinyl. What do you think? From hearing those isolations, and it's called Another Sydney, because I can't remember where I grabbed that one from when I prepared it. So my bad there. I can't help you there. I certainly know that one was the hybrid FM. All right. So what do you think on the drums? Any opinion on how they process those potentially, or is it just a matter? I'm pretty sure it's just a matter of them having all the multi tracks available to better mix than was done quickly, particularly for video and FM usage. I don't see there being a reason to go to a tremendous amount of audio fidelity effort versus a later preparation for a CD product with a different engineer, less time constraints, and potentially a little bit more budget. So vocally, what do you think? Do you think there's any Fraley shenanigans, any re-recording? Go check out those audio versions or audience versions that you have. Chime in the comments with whatever you think about New York Groove from You Wanted the Best. Oh, look, you're still here, watching or listening. We're not sponsored, monetized, or supervised. We're only in this for subs and likes and kicks. So why don't you mash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment about today's episode.